Hey everyone, how's it going? It is either Randy Chavez coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys who are new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. We will start off with the OMI. We're down about 1% today to 00089. We will be here for a little while, probably a couple months, at least not until they announce bronze tickets, until they actually, we might have two little pumps. You might have a little pump when they announce bronze tickets, and then another little pump when they finally implement them and you're able to use them, and people see exactly how much we're burning, etc., etc. I'm really hoping that we get that before the end of the year. If we don't, it'll be in Q1, so probably have a couple months left to stack. There's a bunch of people, crypto, there's a whole bunch of people in general that are just saying, hey, hope it stays down here for a long time. I hope it stays down here for 6 months. Hope it goes down lower, just because they want to stack. That's not them like funding the project. That's just them saying, hey, I want to stack. I have more money coming, and it's all going to OMI, and I want to get the best price possible. And same, I'm ready for it to go up as much as anyone, probably more than anyone, because I think I spent the most, outside of Dr. Profit, I probably spent the most on OMI than anyone else in this community. But that being said, like I said, I'm okay with it here. For the longer it stays down, more money we can put in at triple zeros. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. $691,000 in volume on the day. So really, again, not great. I don't really see a ton of these exchanges really even wanting to list until we're at like a million in volume a day, at least, if not multiple millions. So going over the Bitcoin today and the rest of the market. It's relatively flat. Bitcoin down 1%. Everything else is down, but the only other things that are down above 1% is Solana, Cardano, and Dogecoin. Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Lido Staked, a bunch of these are down, but they're only down like 0.5%. Again, Solana, Cardano, and Doge are down more than 1%, so technically OMI's outperforming that. And then if you even go into the top 20, it's averaging about 1% or less anyway, that it's down. So nothing really crazy. OMI not really outperforming in crazy amounts. I do want to go over GrumpyCat real quick because we do have another whale that should come on fairly soon. We're at $4.5 million market cap. We've stayed here for quite a while. Like we've been down at this point, or I should say up at this point, because we're up like a couple 100% over the last few months. I would say that, again, in general, the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. Does it break up or down? Well, there's not too much room to break down. And again, not out of the top 100 wallets, I think only 6 of them had sold. The rest had either stayed where they are or actually bought more. So I'm really, really happy. I know it's a little top heavy, but I'm really happy that I know most of these top wallet holders, and I know that they ain't selling. Pretty similar to OMI, that most of them aren't selling at these prices. That's why you can have such little volume and the price not really go down in a crazy way. Anywho, moving on. So I'm not sure if I mentioned the stack yesterday, but we have Steven Duarte, which has 41 Astro Boys, saying slowly but surely, he's going on and stacking. And then later on today, we had what's his name? We had Meta Mars, who says like stacking at 20 to 30% discount is a beautiful thing. He's got a few as well. He's got 35 of them, so not as much as Steven Duarte, but he has 4 sub 100s, including a number 42, which is wild. So Astro Boy, again, Veve is going on, and they're really, really focusing on Asia. Astro Boy will be really big over there. So this is something that I suspect. I don't know if he might just try to flip these. Again, you might flip one, when South Korea comes on, another one when Japan comes on, and the last 2 when China comes on, and maybe just one to keep, and that might be why he has 4. But that was pretty fun anyway. Moving on here. So they did announce Soul. So Soul is just a Pixar movie that I'm not really sure did too well. It says Soul, in Disney Pixar Soul, Joe finds himself on an eye-opening journey he hadn't counted on, charged with showing a new soul why life is worth living. Really hope that new soul is not a millennial, because literally every one of my friends wants it. I'm not even going to say that. Anyway, 5 pieces of original Soul concept arts drop in a blind box on 21 October at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the mints on these are fairly okay. We have the rare that has 1,111 editions. The ultra rare has 888. A second ultra rare has 888. And then we have these secret rares with 455 each, which actually mean 365 each. So there's not a ton of these at all. 710 in between both of them. So I think these will probably do okay. They're only $25 each. I think that's a decent gamble. But again, they are posters, so it's not like, oh, shoot. They are posters, so it's not like they're collectibles and they're animated. But again, just secret rares, possibly get for 25. I think that'd be pretty good. And again, the rare is probably going to go below retail. So even if you just want one of the set, be like, hey, I'll earmark this and I'll get the rest later. You could probably get it for like 15, 20 bucks. And then the ultra rares may or may not be at retail at all. But those secret rares, if you get lucky, really good to get that. Anywho, moving on. Oh, actually did not do that well. Budget was $150 million and it only made $121 million at the box office. So the movie actually lost money. That being said, I have seen some people say it was one of their favorite movies. Again, I'm not 100% sure with the plot line outside of what Veve had said. But again, it's a fairly limited release. I think similar to the, not as scarce as the Little Mermaid one. Those poster drop. Those were a bunch of very, very scarce secret rares. I wish I would have got one, but I did not. So anyway, yesterday you had the drop. I think I might have mentioned this as well. It said, "Oh, drop in 8 minutes, drop in 3 hours." That was just so as people redeem the physical codes. They get the physical drop, they get the codes. They have it on there. That's not them going and saying, "Oh, you didn't miss anything." If you said, "Hey, this is sold out." Another thing with that, Alex had mentioned over on Spaces that he's like, "Hey, be advised, you have," I think he said 6 months to redeem those physical codes. Don't quote me on that. I think it's 6 months. Comment down below if you remember the actual quote. And I remember Veve Magic on there saying, "Oh, I was actually going to, open one and then keep one unopened, as in like keep it sealed for a few years, as in like sealed product like you do with Pokemon, VHS tapes, whatever." Do I actually have a VHS tape to show you? I do. Sealed, such as like VHS tapes, things like that. Love Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. Comment down below if you love that movie. Favorite Scooby-Doo movie. So that kind of ruins it for people that want to keep it sealed. So part of the reason why I wish they would have had a QR code or a redemption code that you could redeem forever is that, a lot of people would have kept it sealed, and now they kind of have to ruin their product in order to break it open. And at that time, let's say half the people keep it sealed. Well, that means instead of 3,000 mints, there's actually only 1,500 of these out there between all 5 rarities. So again, now people are like, okay, well, what do I do? It is a blind box, so you don't actually know what you get from Funko unless you open it. So you have to open it, and you kind of have to, destroy that sealed product, and then you get on there. So could you sell it afterwards after you redeem the code? Sure. Probably not going to be worth that. Probably not going to be worth that much. In general, I did see a lot of the Funko native people like, hey, this is priced a little bit differently. I'm really not going to go for it. So out of the ones that did sell, most of them were by the Veve fam. I'm going to guess probably $200,000 were raised or grossed with this because you had at first them saying, "Oh, this is low in stock," and then it said sold out, and then suddenly it's been back on for several hours now. It's at 12:30, so it's about 5 hours later. And if you go over to the website, I'll show you guys right now. It doesn't even say, "Oh, low in stock." So you still have ones that you could get. This will probably last for a couple of days. But again, I do think at least half of these, but I'll be conservative and say $200,000 of these were sold. You have, I think, order numbers and the order numbers were sequential. So if you ordered one number, and then another one like a minute later, it'll show you how many were sold in between. But what I have found is that it is fairly common for Funko to say, "Oh, are these suspected bot accounts? Did this sell out too quickly?" They'll go and actually be like, "Hey, your order didn't go through." And mine was weird too. Mine didn't have it wouldn't let me order 2 at once. It would only let me order 1 at once. So I had to go order it twice. One for me and one for a friendo who's out on the who's outside of the US. And then another one that I was able to get as well, who's also not able to get one right now. So I did get 4. 3 of them are kind of sold to other people. One, I don't know if I'll keep or not. I really do want to get some OMI. And it's not like I can open it and say like, "Oh, what is this?" And I guess I could. If I do open it and I get, that chase, the 1 of 50, I'll see if somebody just wants to, I'll sell it to you, like that, and then you can redeem it, whatever, or I'll just redeem it myself, and then, I'll sell it on, because if you get one of those 1 of 50s, that's going to be like $1,000 like minimum, especially if some people go and I mean, this didn't sell out. So let's say half of them are sold. This you could really only have a one of 25. And if you have a couple of Funko people, again, most of Funko people didn't, they kind of weren't about it. They weren't into it. But let's say some of them were. So let's say out of the 25 that were sold, or most likely sold, let's say 5 of those people were Funko people, and they don't care about digital stuff. Like, they don't know about it. They say they don't know about Veve. They just liked it because of Iron Man and it was a chase, and they like to gamble. It's quite possible that we have maybe one of 20 of these Iron Man. Now, again, by the time you guys watch this video, this could have sold out. I don't know, and this way would be one of 50. Either way, even out of one of 50, I'd say this would be $1,000. I mean, we have a Grim, Mogul Grin from Ron English that's, like $150 and one of like 600 something. So I'm not saying something with 1/10 of the supply is going to be 10x that price, but honestly it could, because this is a big IP. It's a first of what they're doing. So I think that this could be, especially if you get a good mint number, because these are some of the first times available outside of those 2 Marvel comics, and then the Red Skull. There's 2 of those that are sub 1, and then Brock McBlockchain had given out 2 sub 41s of the Feesh, and I think that these are the first times that you're really able to get anything under, I think, 16, because in the first couple of drops, like the Batman, and then I think the Adventure Time, you can get like sub 41s. You can get like number 30. I mean, Brock has a number 19 set. I think you can get number 16 on there. But you can get number 1. Like, they're not holding back, any specific mint. So you could get the number 1 mint. If you could get that on a digital, that could probably be thousands of dollars. And I wouldn't be surprised if David went out and said, like, hey, we want this for the museum. We want this for whatever, and, might work out a deal. Or you could just have a whale come in and say, like, hey, this is a one-of-a-kind, literally a one-of-a-kind thing, and they'd want to do that as well. I'm really curious about that. Like I said, thousands of dollars. Outside of that, Veve, if you go onto the Veve app and you take a look at the Iron Man Funko drop on the app, it shows you that you have, it says there's 4,500 of them. So if you go over to the drops and you go to the gold Iron Man Marvel thing, and you go to the common will say 3,000. You can't see that, it's too bright. So the common will go and it'll say 3,000 on there. Be advised, they are going to burn 1,500 of them, so it does match the physical. However, they're not going to burn number 1501 to 3,000. It's going to be random. It's possible they burn the number 1 mint, which is really, we don't know. Also, speaking of some boo-boos, like I said, it wasn't clear on the website that you need to redeem this, the redemption code, within a certain amount of time. That's something I really wish they would have been more clear about before we were able to buy, because I know people that said, like, I wouldn't have bought this if I knew I had to redeem the code within a certain amount of time. Part of the reason that people wanted to buy this is because they could keep it sealed product, and after finally a Spaces that, again, it wasn't announced. They're like, hey, I wish I wouldn't have bought this. And unfortunately, all sales are final. I mean, it's fine. There's plenty of buyers. There's plenty of people outside the country that would love to buy this. So they'll sell it. They'll get their money back. It's not a big deal. But you have, and that's the other good thing, is that probably sold, $200-something thousand worth of product within just the US. This wasn't available in Canada, Europe, Australia, anywhere else. So, I think this is pretty good. Anything making over 6 figures, I think, is pretty good. Anyway, moving on. The Tarzan drop today, on the other hand, that made about $8,000. That did not do so hot. Typically they don't, and there's only 3,500 mints of these, so I might actually buy one. I'll keep y'all posted. Yeah, there's only 35 mints. You can get the secret rare for $25.60. You can get the ultra rare for $10, so let's say 11, so that's 20, this is $37. And the so 37, so it's 44. The uncommon is less than 3, so it's 47. Plus another, you could literally get the entire thing for $49 And again, the secret rare for 26, secret rares in general I really like. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying if you wanted, you could instead of gambling and paying $7 for this. Moving on. All right, comics and crypto. They made a one. I love them. They made a video earlier today. Well, they made it like a week ago, but they were just so busy with everything that they just forgot to release it last week. And they released it this week. It's about the gold and silver logo. And the title is Why the Veve Logo is the Biggest Grail on the App. And their name is Comics and Crypto. They're very much into comics. They're very much into sealed collectibles. They're very much into physical items. Like that's their bread and butter. Like that's their meat and potatoes of their knowledge set. Well, I mean Spencer's in crypto, but you know what I mean. And when you go and you take a look at how much they love Partner Statue, Disney, and Secret Rare Spider-Man, and the fact that they recognize that like they're not making excuses like, oh well, the Partner Statue, has no utility. There's a lot more of them, and the Veve logo is being pumped by Randy Chavez. Although they did mention me in the video, they're saying, no, listen, we love all of this product. This product is amazing, and it'll have its day. But right now, because of the utility that David and Dan are giving them, who you can network with, who you can meet, the amazing time that you have that you wouldn't trade for the world, that is, they didn't say invaluable. They said, hey, we have sales up to 6,800. We had a couple of other sales today for 4,850 and 5K respectively. So the average, I would say, is about 5K that people pay for it right now. And I think that'll definitely change in the future. And there's different reasons for what people buy it. People buy it because they say, well, Chavez, didn't you say this would be tens of thousands in the future? And yes, I'm 100% positive it will. Again, that's not financial advice. Anything can go to zero at any moment. But some people are like, well, it's going to be worth tens of thousands now. I can get for 5,000. Okay, I'm doing that. If I want to talk to Dashi and Dashi's main goal is to go and make as much money as possible, I'll tell Dashi, don't buy the logo, buy OMI. The only reason I would tell Dashi to buy that logo is if he's looking to make as much money as possible. Like, there's people you can meet at these events that are worth their weight, that are worth your weight in gold. Dashi's very heavy. And those types of contacts are literally invaluable. So if you have something that, and again, not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone wants to, leverage their company and pitch ideas. Some people just want to have a good time, and it's fine. But Comics and Crypto went and kind of made that, said why it's the biggest grail on the app. I think it's very big. And again, be advised, we have certain utilities, like we get maybe 6, 8. I mean, this year we got like $1,500 in airdrops. This year, especially if you went to San Diego Comic-Con, you got even more. So that's just literally airdrops that they give you. Hey, you go to a physical event, they give you cards with redemption codes that you could redeem on the app and sell. So you literally make like 27-28% of your money back just in that, which is insane. And again, that's every year they give you new stuff. And then on top of that, the other stuff that's been announced, you get invites to these parties, one put on by Veve, another put on by Sanjay. And as Veve grows, so will OMI. And when you have a bunch of people, especially the people that are already high net worth individuals, in that group, and they want to do something, they want to have fun, and like, hey, let me do it in this area, let me put on this. There's going to be a lot more parties than just 2 or 3 times a year. There's going to be like there'll be like multiple each quarter next year. And so again, if you're not into party, if you're super, introverted, it might not please you, whatever, which is fine. And I feel like there's some forgotten utility. People say, oh, hey, there's only going to be things that you're only going to be able to buy if you have a gold and silver Veve logo. Like in the Veveverse, there's going to be certain things, whether it's a Veve couch or Veve toilet paper, that's going to be very, very limited and only available to gold and silver logo holders. And you could buy it at retail and you could keep it, or you could buy it at retail and sell it for, oodles of money. They did mention at one point land, like you will get a golden ticket if you have a gold and silver logo. There'll going to be bronze tickets, of course, that everyone can get MCP points and with OMI, but that golden ticket you could cash in and be like, hey, now I'm going to buy a piece of land with this. and that's going to be very, very scarce. I don't think it's like you'll get the land for free. It's just you get a guaranteed piece of land, and you just don't know which one you're going to get. Now, obviously, the land probably, it might not even happen next year. We might have to wait until 25 for that. But again, what is that worth? I think that's going to be worth a lot. But again, that's just my opinion. Whales and high net worth individuals. There's somebody that has Fantastic Four number 13 has 31 secret rares. Like, oh my God, these people need to calm down. They're going so hard. 31 secret rares of that is heckin' nuts. Also today, there's Spaces. I'll be going live later. Wendy Lopez putting on a space later, just about Comic-Con recap. She had one last night, and it was just Sanjay going and telling stories, Mark telling stories, me telling stories. That'll be here tonight. Just be with more people. Foster Hilt will be there. Comics and Crypto will be there, asking about the gold logo and stuff like that. So definitely join. I think that's going to be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll keep y'all posted. So somebody asked me about the Tokidoki stuff. Listen, I'm sure I've said this, but if you've gone to a DesignerCon event, if you've gone to San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, that Tokidoki booth is the only thing that rivals Veve. There's a line around the booth, there's a big space, and the line continues on the wall over there. A lot of that stuff is stupid undervalued, in my opinion. And then you have, we had that Tokidoki drop, 2 Tokidoki drops last week. We had the, 105, the Common Through the Secret Rare. I got all those. And I just want to kind of go over that real quick because again, there's certain things that I think are already undervalued, and then certain things. So the Tokimondos, these one of, I think they all sold out. This little guy over here. Oh no, there's a couple remaining. But it's a con exclusive. There's, this is secret rare? No, that's the rare. I'm sorry, that's the rare. We got to go to the secret rare. So the secret rare out of 750, which means 660 of them. 76 remaining. So you really have less than 600 of these. You can get it for 27 gems, and there's less than 600. And I get like, what is that, Chavez? Something called Little Boss. I don't know. I don't understand these. I don't know the lore behind these. Loves to play with humans, cars, but ends up breaking them unintentionally. That's adorable. His favorite vehicle is a milk truck, so he can drink all the milk. So again, there's lore behind these. There's a story, and there's some people that take this super seriously. And I was asked about it, and I was asked specifically about the golden Toy Tokyo Kaiju, the Toki Gold here, which is the golden version of the common of the last set. And I was like, okay. And someone asked, like, hey, I'm looking at a certain number. I thought they were looking at like number 84 for like $230. And the floor is like 134. And like, hey, would you get it? And I was like, well, if I was going to get it, because this is even scarcer, there's only 500 of these, which mean there are 410. So when they said, should I get it? And I'm thinking that it's number 84 for number, for like 230. I was like, listen, if I had the money, I would actually get 2 more. I wouldn't buy the sub 100 because these are all low 3 digits anyway. The 2 digits aren't really that competitive. I said I would just get 2 of the floor, add in a little more money. And then the Mad Lad says, all right, I'm going to snag the number 52 for 300. I was like, that is not what I thought you meant. It's a great mint, but, out of the other ones that are there, and obviously the other ones will go and they'll be bought up as time goes on. But you could get the number 56 for 400, the number 59 for 350. So it's not like it's, hey, the only other one in the 51 through 59 is like $450 and you raise the floor, $150. It was just, I would have gotten 2 of the floor, of the normal ones, which are currently 136 and 140. So you could have spent $276. You could have saved yourself $24 and gotten 2. But again, people like those sub 100s. People like to be special. People like, again, my newest whale, he doesn't have any 3 or 4 digit ones. They're all 2 digit. He literally just started a few months ago. They're all 2 digit. So that's just one of the things I wanted to talk about. Okay, John was one of these people, or at Extreme Vendors, who happened to buy a logo for $48.50, and he says, mine now. Thanks, Real Randy Chavez, for keeping me up late at night watching you talk about the logo. Well, maybe after this video. another one will do it. So we are on more people's radar now. Disc Trackers, which has almost 90,000 followers over on the X, and then Funko Finders, Funko Pop has 81,000 followers over on the X. Had all mentioned Veve today. They were just saying like, hey, I'm really curious what these digitals go for. One of them didn't even know. One of them just completely thought it was just like, this isn't worth it at all. This is stupid. And then people in the comments like, listen, it might not be worth it for just the physical, but the physical and the digital combined, especially when you have the gambling aspect in there, kind of saying like, hey, this digital is not going to be like $20. The digital version, especially for that chase, is going to be hundreds, if not over 1,000, or some will be thousands of dollars. And so I think people learned today. Oh, also what Veve Viral found is this is pretty cool. You can shop at the original Funko website directly from the Veve app. So if you go on the Veve app and you take a look at Iron Man, you could actually go to the Funko website from there. Says I can navigate back and forth from secondary market, the feed, my collection to the Funko website directly from Veve app, and then he hashtags OMI, says looking good, Mitch. So shout out to him for that. Moving on here. Oh, I think that was it. That's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye.